Hi everyone, I'm Sahner. I'm from TripMate. We are the travel insurance partner of CHTA, and we're looking forward to working with all of you and your members as well as your clients that come to your hotel properties. So through our exclusive relationship with CHTA, we are now offering a travel protection plan that you can put on your website, that you can put in your call center, that you can utilize to offer to guests that are coming to your properties. So I'm going to spend a few minutes today walking you through what the plan looks like and what the coverages are available. And just at the beginning, I just want to let you know that TripMate, we've been in business for 29 years. We're one of the leaders in travel protection plans in the United States. We're owned by Arthur J. Gallagher, which is a top 250 Fortune 250 company. And we're feeling good about what we put together here today, and we're looking forward to working with all of you. So when we think about travel protection, it's hard to kind of get your brain around it, but think of it in the simple terms as you think about car insurance or home insurance. You purchase an insurance policy to protect something. Same thing with travel protection. We want your guests, your clients, to purchase a travel protection plan to protect their travel arrangements in case they have to cancel or interrupt, or if they're delayed, or, knock wood, something happens when they're traveling. That is the intent of the travel protection plan. So today I'm just going to walk you through some of the highlights. Obviously, we want to get you excited. I'm available to sign you up and have you come on board and start offering this plan to your guests. And every policy you sell, there's actually a referral fee that you can earn. So again, I'm happy to talk to you about that offline at any point. So think about travel protection in three main buckets. We're going to cover somebody's travel arrangements. We're going to cover them. So if, again, they get hurt or something happens while they're traveling, we can reimburse them for that if they incur any out-of-pocket expenses. And then their belongings. When people go on a vacation, they pack a lot of stuff. What if they get to the Bahamas and their bags are somewhere else, or their bags never show up? That's what we're here to help with. We would reimburse them for the materials or for their baggage that they lost. So I'm going to dig into these a little deeper, so just hang in there with me. Section 1, let's talk about covering the travel arrangements. We've laid out a nice package here of benefits that we think would absolutely take care of your guests. Trip cancellation, we're going to reimburse them up to their total trip cost. Trip interruption, 150% of their trip cost. Misconnection, $1,000, and travel delay, $1,000. When we talk about cancellation interruption, we would reimburse if somebody suddenly can't go. They wake up in the middle of the night with a toothache and they're due to leave the next day and they can't leave. We would reimburse them for their non-refundable travel arrangements. And what that means to you guys is not only what they've booked with you, but even their hotel, even their airlines. So if they're scheduled to come to your property and they've spent $2,000 on their hotel stay, they've spent $1,000 on their airline ticket, they would insure $3,000, and we would reimburse them if they have a covered reason for $3,000 if they're at 100% penalty. We also cover single supplement or an occupancy change. And then with regard to trip interruption, that means my trip has begun, something terrible's happened to either myself or a traveling companion or a family member with me or back home, and now I need to go back home. This is a great benefit, covering up to 150% of the trip cost, because sometimes folks get on their trip and lo and behold, the very next day something terrible's happened. And so now their brand new ticket or their change fee would actually end up costing more than their whole trip. So that's why we have up to 150% of the total trip value that we can reimburse. One nice thing about these two coverages is the same exact reasons apply for a cancellation as an interruption. Again, the cancellation means I haven't begun my trip and something horrible's happened. An interruption means I'm on my trip and something's happened. These are some of the covered reasons right here, but again, I'm happy to get into the weeds with you if you want to give me a call or email me, and I can go over every one of these coverages as well as the other ones that are included. One really important thing to point out, the plan obviously has injury, sickness, death to you, a traveling companion, to a family member back home, but we have other non-medical covered reasons. Common carrier delay of 12 hours or more. If it's a strike, bad weather, mechanical breakdown. A lot of times your properties are in locations where maybe there's one flight a day, or the flights aren't as frequent as they would be in the continental U.S. So if you have a guest who's due to come down on a Friday, they're spending a long weekend, something terrible happens, they can't get out because of a mechanical breakdown or bad weather, they may not want to take their trip at all. That could actually turn into a cancellation claim that we would reimburse, again, assuming it's all for covered reasons. And really important, we love refunding folks and covering their claim, but there's got to be a covered reason. And when we talk about that, that simply means we've got to see proof that one of these reasons happened, whether it's the mechanical breakdown, we've got to see a note from the airline, or we can contact the airline ourselves. If somebody gets sick, we need a doctor's note so that we can then go ahead and reimburse. Unfortunately, there are some folks out there that want to take advantage. So this is our proof that we have to secure on behalf of the insurance carrier, which is the underwriter. So again, we don't want to be giving away free money, but we also want to reimburse people that fairly need to be reimbursed. So these are some of the highlights of what we cover for cancellation interruption. Well, unfortunately, delays happen too, and it's not enough to give up your trip. They're just an unfortunate situation. So we always remind somebody that a delay or a misconnection, not reason to give up your trip. It's, you know, pull up your bootstraps, get on your trip. You're going on a wonderful trip, but okay, bad weather's delayed your flight by 3 hours, and now you've missed your connection. It's okay, we'll reimburse you if you've had out-of-pocket expenses. Same thing with travel delay. If somebody's flights are delayed for more than 12 hours due to these reasons of passport being stolen or travel documents or money, or even, you know, bad weather that prevents somebody to getting to their point of departure. Maybe there's a snowstorm and they can't get out to the airport till the next day. All of those would be covered reasons in which we could reimburse somebody. Here under misconnection, again, we're going to reimburse them for the additional cost to catch up to their trip and any unused land and water arrangements. So I'm due to come to your property on Friday night. I can't get there till Saturday. You're not going to reimburse me for Friday. You've got to keep that revenue stream. I can turn around and file a claim with TripMate and be reimbursed. And then the travel delay, not only would I also be able to file misconnection, I'd also be covered under trip delay, which gives me the opportunity to be reimbursed for out-of-pocket expenses. So really awesome coverages that we have in our plan that, again, we're more than happy to get into detail with you and explain, as well as work with your clients to understand it. So that's covering somebody's travel arrangements. Interruption, cancellation, misconnection, and travel delay. Now, what about covering the traveler themselves? Someone's on their trip, they're having a great time, but all of a sudden they fall down and they hurt themselves. So what are we going to reimburse? What are they even covered under the plan? So fortunately, our plan provides accident and sickness coverage, as well as emergency medical evacuation and repatriation, plus accidental death and dismemberment. Accidental death and dismemberment is more of a life insurance policy, not necessarily a selling point when you're talking to your clients that are coming to your property, but folks do ask about it. So there is coverage in there for accidental death and dismemberment. When it comes to medical, it's an accident. It's something unexpected that's happened. Maybe they've ate a bad piece of fish and now they have to go to the local clinic and get rehydrated. They have an out-of-pocket expense. They come home, they file a claim with their insurance. We reimburse them. Again, there's a lot of nuance to it that I'm more than happy to talk about in detail at any time. I just want you to have the broad strokes today. We do cover if somebody gets hurt on your property. And what's really nice about this is that a lot of times when somebody gets hurt at somebody's hotel now or even at their house, they want that person to reimburse them, or that organization or that property. In this case, you've offered the travel protection, you have a savvy client, they've purchased it, they're not going to come to you to be reimbursed. They're going to turn to us and say, here's my medical bill, I twisted my ankle, please reimburse me for $400, and we will reimburse them. Again, assuming it's a covered claim. We also have emergency evacuation and repatriation built in. This is just a fancy way to say somebody's had a medical emergency and we've got to get them home, or somebody's passed away and we've got to get their body back. A lot of red tape, a lot of big expenses. This coverage is arranged and prepaid for the guest. They don't have to worry about it. They call our assistance partner, one call, and they will arrange and prepay this for them, which is, again, a great feature. And they won't look to you to say, well, I got hurt on your property, I now have a broken leg, I need to get home. all of that would be covered under our plan. Accidental death and dismemberment, as I mentioned, it's a life insurance policy. What's one thing to point out is there's no deductible, there's no co-insurance. It is excess coverage. We ask that they would go to their primary health insurance. If they don't have any primary or it's still within their deductible, they still file their claim, they get their EOB, their explanation of benefits, and then they submit that to us and we'll reimburse them to make them whole. The point of this is to make the person whole. So we think with $50,000 worth of coverage for accident and sickness, they'll be okay. Emergency evacuation repatriation, $500,000, they'll absolutely be okay. And then the accidental death and dismemberment of life insurance policy of $25,000. That's how we protect the traveler if something unexpected happens. The plan also has built in, as I mentioned before, One Call, which is our 24-hour emergency assistance company. They will be the ones that would arrange emergency evacuation and a repatriation, but they're also there to help the client if something should happen. If they wake up and they realize, oh my gosh, I forgot my prescription medicine, I need to get that filled. One Call can call their doctor back home, get the medicine filled locally for them, and the client's on their way. And one really great feature that I love a whole lot is Global XPI medical records service. What that does is it allows the client to, before their trip, put their medical information into a secure, HIPAA-compliant website, globalxpi.com, so that when they're traveling, if something medically should happen to them and they have to be seen by a local doctor, all of their medical records will be in this system that the local doctor can access and that the One Call doctor can access so that we can provide care faster to that insured. It's really a great feature that you don't think about it, but if you're in an emergency and you're traveling with someone, you may not know what kind of medicine they take or the dosage. So this Global XPI, it's a free service. It's included with the plan. It's available for the insured to put their medicines in or their medications in right before they travel. This is a little deeper dive into One Call. As I mentioned before, they're the assistance company. They will help arrange and prepay the evacuation, but then they also provide all these other great coverages here. One of my favorite features that they, or one of their favorite services that they provide is the nurse helpline. A lot of times people are traveling, they're outside of their element, they might be eating and drinking foods that they're not used to and drinking something they're not used to, and all of a sudden they might have a reaction to it. Maybe it's a gas pain, but of course the insured turns it into they're having an appendicitis, but which one really is it? So here they can call the nurse helpline. Again, this is 24/7 and it's included in the plan. The nurse will talk to them, understand their symptoms, what's going on, and then the nurse can advise them, you know what, it sounds like it might just be gas, or you ate some bad food, why don't you call me back in a few hours, or yes, that does sound quite serious, why don't you go to the local doctor, the local clinic, the local hospital. Again, we can't say enough nice things about how helpful it's been since we've added the nurse helpline to the plan. It's really saved insureds and clients a lot of time of wasting hours in the emergency room. One really other neat feature that I love here is that One Call will help track luggage. So if your insured arrives or your guest arrives at the airport and their luggage isn't there, well, gosh, they booked this wonderful vacation. They're in the Caribbean. They don't want to spend 3 hours at the property waiting for their bags to come. They simply call One Call, give them the tracking number, and One Call will track the bags for them and call the client when their bags are arriving. So we find that to be really nice and helpful feature. But again, here are some of the services. I'm more than happy to get into the specifics with you when you give me a call and you want to talk about the plan. This is Global XPI. I already went into a little detail about that, how you can upload your medical records. Again, free of charge. It's included. We highly encourage it. It's HIPAA compliant. It's password protected. Everything is, your privacy is very important to us, and we make sure that we adhere to the HIPAA rules. So let's talk about covering the traveler's belongings. People travel with a lot of stuff. It's a vacation, they've gone out, they've bought new things, they've brought this bathing suit, this tank top, these flip-flops, these all sorts of beach cover-ups and stuff you wear at night. What if somebody's bags are lost, damaged, or stolen, or what if they're delayed? The plan provides protection and reimbursement. If somebody's bags are lost, damaged, or delayed, it's $1,000 worth of coverage, and that's per person. So if you have a couple traveling together or a family, and they're sharing a bag or there's stuff in there from everybody in the family, they actually have $1,000 each. If your bags show up and they're damaged, we'll reimburse you for the repair of the bag. You know, I joke around and say, don't send us the bag. We're not, we're not little elves in a workshop or Geppetto, but just go out, get the bag fixed, keep your receipt, come back, send it to us, and we'll process it as a reimbursement. Bag delay, very inconvenient. You've come from New York in the winter and you're in Antigua, but you're wearing the wrong kind of clothes. So you need to go out and buy immediate necessary items. You keep your receipts. You come home and you file a claim, and we'll reimburse you for those items. Okay. Just be mindful that there are some per article limits. So if somebody's bags do disappear and they never show up, you can't claim that you had a $600 pair of jeans. I mean, you can, but we would only reimburse you up to $300. There's also a limit on jewelry, watches, and cameras. So if I'm walking down the street with my bag and my camera stolen, the most the plan would reimburse is up to $600. Also take note that money's not covered, your iPad's not covered. There's certain restrictions in the plan that we have in there to prevent fraud, because sometimes people think that, oh, I have $1,000, let me just say my bag was stolen. So we want to cut down on that. And then, as I said, bag delay, it's the immediate necessary items. If somebody's bags are delayed for 12 hours, we'll reimburse them for those items that they had to purchase till their bags came. Keep your receipts, file your claim when you come home. And then this is important to know too. If you go to tripmate.com, you'll see all the information about the plan on the website. You simply put in the plan number and you can pull up the plan, which is your insurance document. And not to bore you with insurance nuance, but insurance is regulated at a state level. So when you get to this site and you put in the plan number, we're going to ask you what state you live in, so we can pull up the appropriate plan. All the coverages are the same across all the states, but there are some nuances into, maybe we call it travel delay and trip delay in different states. That's all. There's no impact to the coverage. Also on our website, folks can start a claim. They can learn about additional resources that they might want to find out about. There's FAQs. So the website, tripmate.com, is very helpful to start a claim, to check on your claim, to see the plan documents, to learn more about the travel insurance document itself. It's a great website, and I can't say enough things about it. And here, right here, this shows you how you'd want to start a claim. You just simply report new claim, and then we'll ask you to put in certain information. And once you do that, we then generate a claim form out. Our typical turnaround time for paying claims is anywhere from 15 business days to 21 business days. So it is a pretty speedy process. Anytime something is sent in to us, we turn around and we let you know, okay, we got the doctor's note, don't worry. Okay, we're now processing the claim. And it is a very transparent process, because we realize folks aren't excited to work with travel insurance, or any insurance company for that matter. So we want to make sure they know that we're working our hardest to get that claim processed and to turn around and reimburse them if it's a covered claim. So this is just some great examples of, are these items covered? Again, we always remind folks they want to call our office. We don't expect you guys to be travel insurance experts. We don't expect the staff at CHT to be travel insurance experts. Our staff is the travel insurance experts. You're there to sell a wonderful vacation. You're going to offer the travel insurance, but once the client starts asking specific questions, you're going to send them to us. And that's our phone number, 800-888-7292. They can call. We're more than happy to get into the weeds with them on what's covered and what's not covered. One other thing to note, we're based in Kansas City, so we're open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on Saturday we're also open from 9 to 5. But when we're not there, we roll our phones over, so we are 24/7. So our phones are answered by our assistance provider when the office is closed. So in the middle of the night, if they wake up and they have a question, they're more than happy to call us, and we'll answer that question for them. Again, my name is KSahner. I'm from TripMate. I'd love to talk to you about travel insurance and travel protection and the advantages of it. Please give me a ring or send me an email, and I'll walk you through why this is a great asset for you and for your clients. Thank you again for your time today.
you.